Hello all, and welcome back to another video from North Fork Time and Treasure. I am your host, Eric, and today we're going to be working on a vintage surveying compass or sighting compass. I acquired this recently because not for collector reasons, but actually because I want to use it. I have an interest in learning how to do classical survey. I live in the mountains. I live in a pretty deep valley here with lots of incredibly beautiful terrain. And on some of my spare time, I decided that I'd like to start, because I know the landscape intimately. But sometimes I wonder about angles and slopes and all this sorts of stuff. And so I decided I'm going to start making sighting, taking bearings, doing stuff like that with a compass. I also have a range finder that will allow me to determine the distance between myself and objects that I am viewing. The pedometer that you saw in my last video may also help with taking those distances as well. But honestly, the rangefinder would be better for that. So this is an antique 19. I think it's anywhere from like the early 40s to the 60s. This particular model was made. I am not sure what model it is, so during this process I'm going to be doing some research as well. This is Keuffel and Esser from New York. This would have been quite an expensive object back in the day, and it clearly works, but it needs some TLC. It needs to be cleaned. It's quite dirty from, having a busy life on the field. Every now and then the arrow seems to crash into the sidewall here. I'm not sure why that would be. The clinometer that you see in it, it is a little sticky. It's supposed to be a little faster than that. The wire is loose here. And this is brass. This should be gorgeous. I can already tell there's some pitting going on here. So we're going to clean this stuff up, put what we can in the ultrasonic probably. So the way this works is you make your sighting for taking a bearing reading, a compass reading through here, your object, you line it up with the wire in there, and then you look at your degree measurements. Now, if you haven't noticed, this isn't your typical 360 compass. There are four sections. They're quadrants of 90-degree sections. Apparently, back in the day, compasses took 0 to 90-degree readings and determined it if it's north, northwest, north, northwest, etc. They assigned the direction to the degree reading. This also allows me to set my declination so that I have true north as opposed to magnetic north. And just the same way, taking the sighting, you'll then do it this way. At your object, clinometer will give you your angle. So this is going to be pretty helpful on the project I have. Now I do need to do some research and find the specific model, as I said, because the bubble is gone. The fluid has escaped, and that's kind of important. Some of these can be replaced, you know, refilled. Some of them you cannot, and in this case I may be able to remove it and get a replacement level. There's a couple other compasses out there that use something of a similar size. So if I can't refill the level itself, then I'll get a replacement. I kind of checked on this. It doesn't seem to want to budge, and so it doesn't feel like it's threaded. There are a couple different ways manufacturers used to do that, so not entirely sure. And then this here is a little knob for apparently raising this. Oh yes, yes. So this lifts the needle, as you could see. So as you unscrew it, it's just to keep it safe, you know, in the case. As you unscrew it, then it allows it to move. And you know, that does actually, I must have had it a little tight when I first moved it. But so you take your reading and then you turn that, and it'll lock your needle in place so that you can just turn around and look at your, you know. Okay, that raised it. That raised it. So, but that's quite sticky. The knob itself and the clinometer. So we're going to clean it up. And we'll find out a bit more. Here's the serial number. I'll see what I can find on that. We're going to repaint the bottom. I might even make a mount so that this can screw in, and I can put it on a tripod, take it with me when I do my surveying. So, what do you think? Kind of cool? I hope you'll enjoy it. I know I will. Here we go. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I'm thinking of cleaning up this case. What do you think? I mean, it has a lot of character. It's got the guy's name on it, Steel. And, but it's just kind of creepy and yucky. Arliss isn't, so I guess this belonged to two different guys. And, but K&E, this is the original case that came with it. Brush it up, clean it really well, put some leather conditioner on there, and try to bring it back to life. What do you guys think? Do you think I should leave the case as it is? Wear is certainly part of an antique's character. I would be removing some of that if I cleaned it. But, you know, honestly, this is, I could just wipe it down, but just touching this gets me dirty. So, yeah, what do you think? What do you think? I'm curious. All right, so let's get to it.